So, I'm here in my backyard against this beautiful boulder here in Lake Tahoe, and I wanted to talk about one of the topics I've been thinking about a lot lately, and that's really why I do landscape photography. And I'll be honest with you, I've kind of gotten away or gotten lost in a lot of the YouTube and Facebook and social media input that's going on out there, and I've really been sort of harkening back to when I got into photography, what got me started, why did I get right into large format photography. And the reality of it is, I wanted to share the most beautiful things that I was experiencing in nature, and I wanted to do it in a super high quality way. And what that meant was going out and experiencing things that made me feel fantastic, made me kind of feel euphoric, if you will. And then, and only then, would I take out my large format camera, compose very carefully and in just the right light, and take one exposure. And I never in my career have pumped out a volume of work. And in the digital age, people really are able to produce a volume of work. And not to say that that's bad, and especially when people are learning the art form of photography, practicing techniques and learning composition, it's wonderful to be able to shoot a huge volume of images that cost zero to produce and learn from those. But what I've realized is that, at least in my case, I feel as though when it's possible to pump a lot of work out with zero cost to myself, I don't feel as though I put as much care into it. And part of that is, part of that digital age concept bleeds over to photography from, I guess, what you would call our real world right now. Everything in the world is gauged upon volume and traffic and how quickly you can do things. And most often that does not equate to quality. And when we really get down to it with photography, at least for myself, I don't want to produce lots and lots of good stuff. I want to go out and I want to expose a sheet of film when I feel things are absolutely amazing and when they absolutely move me. And as I've shared in the past, I generally, unless it's something very specific, I do not crop my film. I actually go out, and along with most often only taking one exposure, I am cropping in the field. I want to compose my work when I'm in the scene and when the conditions are ideal and they're moving me. And the composition is the art. And that is where I want to capture the emotion-filled moment when I'm setting up my shot and I'm composing because that composition means something to me at that point. I don't want to take a wide-angle shot and think, oh, I have loads of information in here. I'll get it close enough and I'll crop it later. I'll make it good. And what often happens is when we get into that mindset, we're taking images, we're composing images, and we're exposing images in conditions that are pretty good, but we're not fully vested in that. And I know I've shown these to you in the past, my crop cards. And when I go out in the field, I take things an extra step further, and I don't shoot, say, an 8x10 inch sheet of film and crop it later to my 4x10 panoramic size. I actually adapted the camera, really quite simply cut a dark slide in half so that when I'm in the field I can compose exactly what I'm seeing. So I carry crop cards for 8x10 inches, and 4 by 10 inches. And when I carry my smaller 5 by 7 field camera, I shoot 4 by 5 and have a crop card for that, as well as 6 by 17 centimeter panoramic. And so I guess the moral of this story is, when we're out in the field and we're experiencing the reason we want to be out there to begin with, and we're being pulled by the emotions of the natural conditions and the light and the weather and the atmosphere, I believe that that's the best time to put in our full effort and give our full focus to what is and should be considered a piece of art. So when we're in the field, actually taking the care to do one thing right, and that is composing and framing our scene to the aspect ratio and to the composition and cropping and framing that are moving us while we're out there feeling it and experiencing it. And I believe that is one of the things that can take a picture and transform it into a piece of art, is when it's composed and exposed at the moment of our maximum emotional tie to the subject matter. I hope you find this interesting. You're welcome. I'll put a link below. I wrote a blog article about this with an example photo as well, and I hope you'll click over there and enjoy that. The link is below. Thank you for following. Please leave comments about how you feel about this, if you agree, if you disagree, and that's perfectly fine, but I'd like to start a positive conversation about it. As always, helpful links below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on anything. You can connect and subscribe to my free Fine Art of Nature newsletter if you'd like. All links are below it. Thank you very much for being here, and most importantly, get outside. Happy shooting.